and welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Mugdha Mishra and we have an interesting lineup of stories for you today. We will take you on the test drive of Mini Cooper Convertible. Yamaha has launched slew of new products and we will give you all the details about those products. But first, Hyundai Venue. Hyundai has launched a subcompact SUV Venue in new avatar. Anirban Mitra gets you the review.
It's time to start up the subcompact SUV space, presenting the new 2025 Hyundai Venue. And quite like the bigger, the Creta, things have really gone in the right direction, and I'll tell you why in this review. For the prices, it starts under 8 lakh rupees ex showroom, goes all the way to 15.5 lakh rupees ex showroom. We're driving both these brothers, the regular Venue and the N-Line with it, which means we can give you a better view of what really unfolds if you are putting your money in this Hyundai. Call it a baby Creta and I think designers had no problem. The face is upright, the grille reminds me of the Alcazar and Creta. The light setup is fresh, it runs across edge to edge. It may just find customers, especially for the aggressive design cues. Onto the rear, it's much like the front. Again, connected light strip. The Venue lettering hides behind a fiber-like applique and it looks really special at night. But onto the sides is where the game changes. It's more like the Creta now, especially this applique, the C-pillar treatment. This reminds me of how the Creta is. It's gone bigger, it's wider than before, the height has also increased, but what means the most for you, the wheelbase has also jumped up by 20 millimeters. Few new color options to choose from and few of them really look smacking, much like this Mystic Blue has got a nice blaze to it. Again, compared to the N-Line, there are a few design cues that go here and there. For example, there is lots of N-Line badging slapped all across the body profile, be it on the wheels. Well, 17-inch alloy wheels, they're also fresh to this Venue. There is a bit of distinction between the N-Line and the regular. I like the design of the N-Line wheels. Those are more sharp, more chiseled and on your face. The grille design is slightly different in both the cars, but again, it's more like the Creta. There is a different treatment to the bumper as well. The skid plates are slightly different. The red accents used here and there, that kind of accentuates the sportiness in the design of the N-Line. Let's hop inside and give you a better view of how things have shaken up inside the cabin of the Venue. The top of the dash is black. The Venue lettering runs over this very different feeling texture, which is dotted with these black spots on this ivory color. The fit and finish levels almost remind me of a segment above, if not more. The steering wheel is a new design, much like the Creta. It's a D-cut steering. Again, level 2 ADAS has kicked into the Venue, which means you get a lot of safety features if you really want to pay for them. The layout of the seats, they have changed a bit. The fabric is different and it's quite interesting because it's a dual color. The front seats are electrically adjustable. They get ventilation feature. The central console area has also been reworked and I quite like it. It liberates more space. There is sense of space that has increased inside the cabin thanks to this design of the new gear lever. It gets electronic parking brake. The drive mode and traction mode rotary dial has also been placed here, but the party trick has to be this new dual screen setup. It's a freestanding 12.3 inch each of them and they look quite vibrant, packed with features, no complaints whatsoever. Get connected features. The displays here are quite different as you go along the drive modes, and also overall fit and finish levels I kind of appreciate here. I've traded the variants, hopped onto the N-Line variant to show you the rear seat space, and I'm quite happy to report the legroom area has improved and it's a marked difference over the previous Venue, which we had lots of complaint about regarding the space on offer for the rear seat passengers, and that has really improved. My height for reference is 5'7". As you can see, there is ample amount of headroom. I can move around my legs. There is space if I want to stretch out, and Hyundai has been really clever. They have scooped out the front passenger seats, which means even if you're tall, if you're above 6 feet high, there should not be a problem with moving around your legs. The back seat, however, is 2-step reclinable, which means if you want to travel leisurely at the back seat, you're free to do that. There is no third headrest, which I think is a kind of a bummer, but the overall sense of space and airiness inside the cabin, it is much better than before. There are a couple of cup holders with the armrest in the middle. There is dedicated AC vents. Now all the charging points inside the Venue are C-type. What's also new here are these blinds. These privacy blinds do help you cut down on the harsh sunlight really during summers. The boot space is shade under 400 liters, which means you are good to go for a weekend trip. 2 full-size bags with a couple of duffel bags here and there are quite easily put in there. As far as the N-Line goes, there are a few differences. I'm sure you would have noticed them by now. It's an all black cabin. There are plenty of red stitching, red accents all across the cabin, and there are N-Line badges on top of the steering wheel. There is also a couple of extra knobs which have been moved from the central console to the steering wheel for the drive modes and traction control modes. And I think there is a sense of individuality that comes with the N-Line. The powertrain options are same as before. 3 engine choices. There is the entry-level 1.2 litre naturally aspirated petrol with a 5-speed manual that makes around 83 horsepower. Then there's a 1 litre turbo that you get with the N-Line, and also the higher trims of the regular Venue, which is a 3-cylinder unit, makes around 120 horsepower. That is mated to a 7-speed dual clutch or a 6-speed manual. Then you also have an option of diesel. The 1.5 litre oil burner is mated to a 6-speed torque converter. That's new here. And it also gets the option of a 6-speed manual transmission. And the diesel engine makes 116 horsepower. While the engine, its power, torque and all those remain same, but there is a marked improvement in how the Venue drives. I've tried out the regular Venue Turbo, and this is the N-Line, and there is a significant difference to start off thanks to this new K1 platform, which has been heavily reworked. It also underpins the likes of Kia Ceros. The car is slightly taller and wider than before, but the structural rigidity of this platform is much improved. It uses more than 70% high tensile strength steel, which in effect should improve the crash worthiness of the car. The suspension has also been reworked. The dampers feel more absorbent than before, which means when you go over bad roads, broken patches, it feels less wallowy than before. Once you go past the turbo spooling of the engine, it's quite alive beyond 1800 RPM, runs quite flat all the way to 2,500-3,000 RPM. The automatic trim, the dual clutch, also has paddle shifters, which means if you want to take over the controls, drive it spiritedly, it's quite precise. I think all the engine options given with the Venue are quite potent, reliable, and if you drive with a light foot, it can be frugal as well. The N-Line has got slightly better brakes. It works on all disc brakes. The bite is quite sharper. The feel on the lever is much assuring. However, it's not a deal breaker in the regular N-Line turbo as well. Speaking of safety, 6 airbags are standard across every trim line in Venue, along with stability control and hill hold assist. As you go higher, you have traction control, 360-degree camera, and if you want to really go all out, you also have level 2 ADAS. To sum things up, I think Venue from the driver's seat is a huge step up. Hyundai has tried to address the weaker points while making the overall product more likable than before. Does this really ensure success for the new Venue? Well, time will tell about that. In terms of pricing, I think the top-end variants are slightly on the higher side, but then we have seen people ending up with a trim higher thanks to the snazzy looks, that extra bling and more features.
Mini calls it always open, and that's exactly the spirit here. Freedom, fun and a load of excitement. The 2026 Mini Convertible is built on the next-gen Mini Cooper platform, which is new and designed to accommodate both electric and internal combustion powertrains. It now sports a new look too. The look is quintessential Mini, with this new octagonal grille, round headlamps and really short overhangs, giving it that perfect go-kart feel. And this car does feel like a go-kart. You also get wheels up to 18 inches, which really fill out the arches. At the rear, you get these Union Jack tail lamp, but reimagined, and they look modern and nice. You can notice very short rear overhangs as well. And now I want to show you the boot space as well. What's interesting is that the tailgate opens downwards so that it's easier for you to put the luggage in. You get 160 litre of boot space with the top down, which goes up to 215 litres once the top is up. And it will hold a weekend worth of luggage if you pack mini style. This top goes down in 18 seconds and goes back up in 15 seconds. And you can take the top down while on the go, but the speed has to be below 30 kph. Mini Cooper has to look Mini Cooper inside out, and this convertible does manage to look that. First of all, you get a lot of options for your upholstery, interior trims, and you can customize the car as you want. Like in a typical Mini, the central display is round and has a lot of information. What I really liked about this central display is that information that you need. For example, speed, because you do not have a driver display, you do get a head-up display, but on this screen as well, the speed comes on top in bold letters so that you can see it very easily. You also get a lot of tech in this Mini Cooper convertible. This 9.4 inches high resolution OLED screen controls almost everything: navigation, media, climate, and even driving modes. Thanks to Mini Operating System 9, your apps and phone content integrate seamlessly. There's also the Mini Intelligent Personal Assistant. Just say, "Hey Mini," and you can adjust functions, set navigation, etc. Hey Mini, increase the temperature.
Temperature raised to 19 degrees.
And for that immersive feel, there are 7 experience modes. Go-kart mode, for example, brings out Mini's racing DNA with red and grey lighting. It is Mini, so the quirkiness is everywhere. Personal mode lets you upload your own photo to project colors into the cabin. On the design front, Mini has kept things minimal but playful. It is equipped with a redesigned toggle bar, wireless charging, clever storage, and optional head-up display. So my camera person has challenged me to go sit on the rear seat, and he says he fits, so I'm sure I will also fit. So I'm taking his word for it and trying to go and sit here. All right. Well, the honest truth is that I can actually sit, and this bench is wide enough to offer me decent thigh support. Of course, my knee is touching the front seat, but I think I can go for a short drive on this position for sure. Only young children can sit here comfortably, but the space can be useful for dumping some extra luggage. It's the perfect setting for driving a convertible, and I am with Cooper S convertible. It is super fun. We are on the outskirts of Munich in the German countryside. It's scenic, it's beautiful, and full of turns and twists. And this is a proper Cooper S country, and I'm having a blast. Mini Cooper convertible will come in 3 variants. One is C, S, and John Cooper Works. But the iteration that's coming to India is the Mini Convertible S, which is the one that we are driving today, and it is so much fun. It gets the 2-liter 204 HP engine, which does 0 to 100 in 6.9 seconds, which is not very fast on its own. But Mini Cooper convertible is not for doing the straight line 0 to 100. It's more fun on the turns and the twists, where it is sharp as a tack. This is the car that you want to take out on the carts, take it to the mountains on your weekend run, and it will put a smile on your face throughout the ride. The extra hardware for the movable roof does push the weight up, and yes, the convertible feels a touch heavier than the hatch, but the balance is spot on. The preloaded anti-roll bars really hold the car flat, and you can feel that confidence in every corner. The steering adds to it too, with a planted, reassuring feel that keeps you connected to the road. The steering is absolutely precise, and you get that go-kart feel that Mini is known for. In the go-kart mode, you get that crunchal sound from the engine that also makes the ride a little bit more enjoyable. I drove it on the Autobahn, and now in this countryside, we did encounter few rough patches here and there, and this Cooper convertible handled those patches very well. I think the ride quality is suited for Indian roads. It is a bit stiff but not harsh. Agile steering, attuned suspension, and preloaded anti-roll bars keep it sharp through the corners. Mini's hallmark balance of fun and safety is all here. For safety, Mini Convertible gets the Driving Assistant Plus, which adds lane guidance and adaptive steering help. Parking Assistant Professional can find and slot into tight spaces on its own thanks to sensors and 4 surround view cameras. You also get remote 3D view on your phone. The Mini Convertible is not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about how much fun you can pack into every kilometer. It's coming to India this year and is expected to be priced around 50 lakhs. With its design, tech, and that open air magic, it's a small car that delivers big emotions.
Hello and welcome to NDTV Auto. What you see on the screen is Aerox Electric, and Yamaha has made its intentions very clear and loud. Well, this has not been launched. It's coming to our market sometime in early 2026, but I know a lot of details about this electric scooter. For starters, it has swappable batteries. As you can see here, these are in combination 3 kWh, promising a range of up to 106 kilometers on a single charge. Well, I'll show you the boot space. Now see, essentially it's an Aerox, so there's a bit of a compromise in the underseat storage. The replaceable batteries sit here and they feel quite heavy, to be honest. Don't have the specifications. Now it gets a motor which makes around 9.4 kilowatt and 48 Newton meters of peak torque, and you get 3 ride modes to go with the Aerox Electric. In terms of mechanicals, in terms of overall structure, this is more like the ICE Aerox. Up front there's a disc brake with single channel ABS. It rides on telescopic front forks, and rear you get dual shockers. Overall, if I sit on the scooter, the ergonomics are much like the regular Aerox. However, I miss out on the forward stance. There is slight restructuring in the front apron, which means I really can't push my leg much forward, but this is essentially a maxi scooter styling. The instrumentation is also much like the Aerox. Not much has changed. I see joysticks here which kind of goes through different controls. Well, it will get connectivity features as we have seen in the Aerox. So in terms of mechanicals, in terms of what this electric avatar offers, is much in line with the ICE. It looks quite proportionate. Nothing in the market is in this category barring the TVS X, which came almost 2 years back. Now this rolls out in the market sometime early 2026, and I expect the price tag to go almost 2 lakh rupees ex-showroom. There is also an affordable EC06 on offer. You can check that out in another video. This is the brand new EC06 from Yamaha, and they have made their intentions quite clear and loud. Not one but 2 electric scooters on display. This is one of them. There's also the Aerox E, the electric version of Aerox, which is more performance oriented. This is more for the family buyers, more for urban commute. And let me tell you more about this scooter. This one gets a fixed type 4 kWh battery pack, which promises a range of up to 160 kilometers on a single charge. The motor is a humble 6.7 kilowatt peak power motor, which makes nominal or continuous power of 4.5 kilowatt. Well, this product will be launched sometime early in 2026, and that's the timeline Yamaha has given for the price unveil as well. They're setting up the dealership network and also the charging infra for its electric vehicles to start with. In terms of styling, it has a maxi scooter appeal, gives me an appearance what Yamaha and River have done in collaboration. However, the company has not come out clear on that stance whether this is actually a River indeed derived scooter or not. Talking about hardware, this one rides on 14-inch wheels. It gets double disc brakes, but it misses out on ABS. There's not even provision for single channel ABS, which kind of tells you this will more be for urban commute, slow speed riding. Probably a speed of around 70 to 80 kilometers per hour could be the top speed for the EC06. The front has got a rectangular appeal with DRL running all across, has got chunky front end and has got nice colors with blue shades on the sides. This one is a LCD display, whereas the Aerox gets a TFT display. I don't have the key, but this one is a freestanding unit, should be quite crisp. The buttons here are quite simple. There are modes, but again, not much has been disclosed, but this one reveals that it will have a reverse mode, also a parking switch, hazard lamp. The charging port has been given in the front console area, and it has got a multi-function key fob. The underseat storage shall be around 24.5 liters, which means you can have a full helmet placed under the seat. The floorboard design is quite wide, and I think I'm sitting quite upright. Again, it has not been disclosed what the seat height would be, but for an average Indian height at mine at 5'7", I believe this one should be comfortable. And I think the design is quite fresh and likable. Onto the rear, this is more of a disc setup, gets twin coil at the rear. The front rides on telescopic suspension. I like the design. It's quite chunky. The overall fit and finish level surely could have been better by Yamaha standard. Well, that's a quick roundup on EC06, which goes on sale early 2026, and I expect the price to be around 1.20 lakh ex-showroom. This, boys and girls, is the XSR155. Now this has been launched in India at 1.50 lakh rupees ex-showroom, which essentially has the heart of R15 MT15. This engine is a 155cc single-cylinder liquid-cooled motor, which makes 18.4 horsepower, 14.2 Nm of peak torque. It's mated to a 6-speed gearbox. You get slip and assist clutch, but the design, it's completely fresh. It's new, retro, and I think it'll have a lot of takers. Let's start with the design. It has got a circular LED headlamp unit, LED blinkers, upside down forks, 17-inch alloy wheels, and they have dual channel ABS. It's a delta box frame, much like the MT15 and R15. This fuel tank is roughly 10 liters, slightly small, but goes with the overall aesthetics. It gets a color TFT, circular dial, looks quite distinct from the crop of Yamaha that we get in the Indian market. There are plenty of color options to choose from, and there is 2 body types as well. There's one Cafe Racer, one Scrambler body kit, and those will be more of accessory. The seat height is roughly 810 millimeter. For my frame of reference, 5'7", I can flat foot. The seat height is roughly 810 millimeter. It tip scales at 137 kilograms, which means it will be quite manageable. The handlebar is slightly wide. The controls could have been better. This looks little flimsy. So is this mirror. But I must remind you, if you're thinking the FZX will be shelved, no, that will be continued. That has been launched with this hybrid tech that remains as a different entity. The XSR sub-brand also will play a part in the Indian market for Yamaha. Look at the seat, not very wide and spacious, but it's quilted, has got a retro feel to it. The rear section also has a circular tail lamp, which kind of pops out. The exhaust muffler looks sporty with these circular dots on top of it, and this dual complexion overall. The XSR, well, it's, I think, a new beginning for Yamaha. In terms of body type, it's quite fresh. It looks more modern and premium compared to the FZX that they already sell in the Indian market. Also slightly more premium in terms of pricing over the FZX. I quite like it. It'll have all the features that we are used to seeing in the R15, which means you have a traction control and you have ride modes to go with this motorcycle. What are your thoughts? I'd love to know. Launched at 1.5 lakh rupees ex-showroom. Feel free to share your thoughts. I'd love to know whether you would be considering a new retro motorcycle from Yamaha or not.
Well, that's all for today on the NDTV Auto Show, and it is a wrap for me. Yes, this is my last show at NDTV Auto, but I wish the team the best, and you can continue watching auto-related content on NDTV Auto's YouTube or social media platform. I had the best time here at NDTV Auto, and I wish a lot of success to the team. I will see you when I see you. Till then, take care. Goodbye.